Lady Ada, it is time to do new products.
Okay.
It's new product time.
Okay, why don't you show the first thing, which is just a photo.
All right. Well, the first thing that I'm going to show is a very, I'm just going to show a snippet of this video. We just posted up this video of flowing eel wire.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you ever want to know what it is, it's on our YouTube channel, adafruit.com, I'm sorry, youtube.com/Adafruit. We got that going. Next up, and you can watch the whole video later, it's exciting.
Okay.
We have a coming soon. This
Coming
is
soon.
the FM radio transmitter.
I'm waiting for parts to come in, but the design is done, and we even have a tutorial ready to go. I just I was expecting chips, and chips didn't show up, but they'll show up soon, maybe a week or so, and we will get this in. It's an FM transmitter that can do RDS, RDBS as well. Ooh.
Yeah.
How fancy.
It's the only one out there that I know of.
Yeah, it's like the only chip I know that does this.
Next up, 3
MagPis.
different MagPis.
We have, I think, 22, 21, and 20. These have a lot of cool projects. People love this. It's not even that expensive as a full printed magazine goes. These are made on a Raspberry Pi. They're full of Raspberry Pi love. They've just got projects, videos, tutorials, ads, everything you would ever want in a Raspberry Pi magazine. They have managed to publish for like once a month for like almost 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not easy, by the way.
Well, a lot of people
Hard to
always
do a
ask,
weekly show, too.
what can they do to support this magazine? Because they like all the articles. You can buy a copy.
Buy a copy. We have it. You can ship from the U.S.
Okay. Next up, if you're interested in the Swift programming language and you're going to run a workshop or a class or something and you want to reward everyone afterwards, you can
Maybe you want to reward yourself for learning the newest, coolest language.
Yeah.
I haven't really learned any languages since like Lisp, so I'm really behind.
Yeah. We'll migrate our iOS apps to this at some point.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
We use Unity though. I don't know if.
Yeah, we'll probably migrate though.
Anyways, I don't even know Objective-C, but maybe you're cooler than I am, so you can use
Yeah,
Swift.
this is good for workshops. They're starting to do this already. People are having classes and stuff. So if you want a Swift badge,
We should have a badge for learning assembler.
okay.
All right.
I gotta work on that.
Solder. We have now skinny RoHS solder. This is lead-free solder. We have leaded solder. You see on the right, that's the leaded solder, which is 0.8 millimeter in diameter. It's a little thicker, which is really good for through-hole solder and a little really big fine pitch. But we do fine pitch in-house, and also a lot of people who are customers want to do fine pitch SMT, or these like thinner solder. We also have on the right, left, whichever way you're looking at, 0.5 millimeter diameter. It's no clean rosin. It's lead-free SEC 305. It's really good for any lead-free shop. It's really good solder. I've used it, and it comes in a spool of 50 grams. So very good for most hobbyists. It'll last you quite a few months. Way more than those little tubes. I hate those little tubes. They're just useless. It was like one kit. I mean, like, what's the point?
Next up, this is from our friends at Octopart.
Yeah.
And this is the Pocket PCB. It was a popular crowd supply.
Yeah, it was a crowd supply project. I
Yeah.
don't think it was on Kickstarter. I actually don't remember if it was on Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
It was on a crowd-funded.
But this was designed by Octopart and I think also Star Simpson, right? She had a part in this. So this is actually a PCB that's multicolored, which is pretty crazy. They actually have multiple silk screens on it, and they have really beautiful gold pads. I mean, I can show it on the overhead, but this is actually much nicer. And on the other side, it has a resistor chart. So it's got like 8 silk screens on it.
Yeah.
It's got every color silk screen on it. I don't understand how they actually managed to do this.
Some person in the comments had said on Google Plus, they're like, oh, that seems expensive for just a piece of paper with print on it. It's not. It's actually a PCB.
It's actually a PCB with gold pads and multicolored print.
Yeah,
so
it's
this
really
is
neat.
like the fanciest PCB I've ever seen. I mean, it's actually harder to get multiple colors. And then they have gray silk as well. So yeah, this is pretty cool. And like BGA and QFP and SOIC. So we have a ruler, but if you want a card, and this is a nice card, check it out. This is a very nice little pocket PC.
Next up, let me go through this part pretty quick. These are just these wires.
We already had the black, red, and white silicone wires. These are now blue, yellow, green, orange, and gray. These are stranded core silicone wire. What's nice about them is they can carry a lot of current, but they're stranded and very flexible. The silicone coating means that you can use them up to 200 degrees C. We actually used them yesterday to extend some thermocouple wires while we were profiling our oven. So then they can handle 200 degrees C, no problem. and it's up to 600 volts. They have really good insulation, and they're very flexible, much more flexible than PVC coated wires. So they're good for like wearables and other projects. We wanted to have some stranded core in the store, and I just kind of like this as like if you're doing wearable projects or you want a flexible wire harness. Silicone coated wire is super high quality and a little easier to use than the Teflon coated stuff, which is kind of a pain to strip.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we're zooming right along. This is a big deal. This is a new material that is now available to you out there, Pyralux.
Yeah, this is big because it took me 2 years to get this stuff, and I'll just hold it up and then I'll show it on the overhead. I'll show how big this is. So this is a square 6" by 6" Pyralux, and I'm starting out with only single-sided copper on one side and polyamide on the back. And this is what's used to make flexible circuits. So if you have anything with a flex circuit, like LED strips, or if you have like any camera, phone, or watch, probably has flex PCB in it. This is the raw PC material, and it's flexible. So let's go to the overhead, and I'll show this off a little bit.
To the overhead. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
So yeah, this is. Oh, let me back this up. Maybe you can. Yeah, this is good. All right. So this is flexible PC material, and on the back is polyamide Kapton, basically, and then there's copper. And so this is basically just like a copper PCB, like copper clad PCB with 1 ounce copper. You can etch it, you can engrave it. You might be able to laser cut it, but we don't know what. You might need like a really powerful laser to do so. But you can cut it with scissors. And it's a lot more flexible than copper tape. So copper tape cracks, and this stuff doesn't. Like you have to use it a lot more for it to crack. And it can carry a huge amount of current because it's basically just like PCB material. So for example, I soldered it here, like I made these little strips, and they're super flexible, and they won't crack like copper tape. And then I just have these, this is like super bright, but it's a 1 watt LED, and it doesn't get warm at all. So for wearables or projects where you want flexibility, this material is excellent, and there's like nothing like it, and this is why it's used for flex material. And it took us a couple of years to get this, actually.
Is Adafruit the only store with it that you know of?
I have not found anywhere else to buy this because I would have bought it.
Okay.
And I actually we went to Apex Expo, and DuPont was there showing off this material. They're like, oh, we have new Pyralux. This is what everyone uses for flex PCB material. And we said, hey, we really want to buy some of this. And they're like, oh, you don't really like sell to people who don't make PCBs for a living. And I'm like, yeah, but like this is a really cool material. And so they said, well, we have a distributor and you could talk to them. And the distributor was actually across the hall. And when we talked to the distributor, the guy was like kind of like punk rock. He had like a mohawk and like tattoos. And we were all like, wow, that's cool. We also listen to like Depeche Mode or like metal. I don't know what he listened to. But he was really cool. And we chatted with him and he said, look, do you guys have any remainders? Because, you know, a reel is like 100 meters by 3 meters. It's a lot. But maybe they have pieces that are left over from when they do a run. And he said, yeah, we can sell those to you and you guys can cut them up and just have small pieces. So that was in February. And now we finally got the shipment in. So this is really neat. I want to see people etch this with, just press and peel blue or whatever. And maybe even you can use another mill to cut or engrave it. You might also be able to use like a cutter to cut out circuits from this material. It's very durable. So good stuff. I'm excited about this.
Okay.
We'll do fun projects with Pyralux.
Next up, look at these nice wires.
Oh yeah, we have these wires. These are weird. So yeah, can you stop on this photo?
Okay.
This is like basically my demo. So most of the time we have cables that go from 0.1 millimeter to 0.1 millimeter, so 0.1 inch to 0.1 inch, so they can fit into breadboards and like have headers and stuff. This wire goes from 0.1 inch, like on the breadboard down here, to 2 millimeter. So you can plug it into something like an XB that has 2 millimeter pitch instead of 0.1 inch pitch. So it's 2.45 millimeter to 2 millimeter, and they're sockets so that they're you can connect it from like we use some header just to plug into a breadboard. But if you ever have these modules or like some other plug-in thing and it uses 2 millimeter pitch and you're really annoyed because 2 millimeter doesn't quite fit inside your breadboard because it's off by quite a bit, like 50%, you can use this to create a wire adapter. And here I'm just showing you with an XB. You can use it with anything that uses 2 millimeter and just plug them in. It work really great.
Okay.
Very handy.
All right.
And then we have a photo. Can you show the next photo?
I'm just going to show the next photo.
Yeah. So it just shows you how it's split in from the bigger 0.1 inch chunks to the littler 2 millimeter, and then this is just me breaking out an XP onto a breadboard.
Okay. Next up, NeoPixels. More NeoPixels.
NeoPixels. Let me set up my demo.
We have a demo. Okay. How about I show some photos while you do? You set
Yeah,
up your
these
demo.
are diffused 5 millimeter NeoPixels. We have 8 millimeter, and now we have 5. So I'm just plugging this in, and you can go to the overhead. And so these are, they look like RGB LEDs, but they're not. They're actually a chip that's compatible with the NeoPixel library. I think it's a NeoPixel chip, but I don't really know.
Right.
And you have data in, and then you just can chain them together like on this breadboard, and you get, you know, multiple colors with only one pin. So there's only one pin controlling all of these LEDs, and they're just cycling through colors.
That's cool.
They're handy. We have 8 millimeter, now we have 5 millimeter. The clear 5 millimeters got discontinued, but the diffused 5 millimeters are available, and they look really great, and they plug into a breadboard, and they're really bright, so I have to shade them a little bit so you can see the color. And they're diffused, and I don't know, fun.
Okay.
I think they're fun.
All right. Next up, there's more.
Demo away.
There's more.
Yeah.
More LEDs.
Yay! All right, hold on. So this time I'm going to, hold on. I have a lot of demos I gotta set up here.
Yeah.
This is, and I'll hold this up because this is easier, just hold up.
Okay.
This is LPD 8806 LED strip, which you can see reflecting on me. It's like super bright and colorful. And this is digital addressable LED strip, and it's not NeoPixel because it actually has 2 pins. It has clock and data. And the reason that we're carrying this is a higher density than the one we had before. And the reason we're carrying this instead of not just NeoPixels, there's a lot of microcontrollers and processors that can't handle the specific timing of NeoPixels, which require very specific bit timing. Like you can't really do it on like a Linux or a basic stamp or single board computer or many other processors. Like even like NetDuino has difficulties with it because it's not real time. But this, because it's SPI, you can drive it with like any speed, any processor. I drove these from a Raspberry Pi in like 1 second. They're really, really easy to use. So I like having both options. The NeoPixel is a little less expensive and has higher density, but this stuff can be driven by any processor, and it's not at all picky about the data timings. You basically just like clock the data as fast as you want or slow as you want, and then you send it like a couple of FFFFs, and then it's like, okay, great, and it latches the data. So
that's cool. It's beautiful.
Yep.
All right. And next up, the star of the show beside you, FONA.
Okay. Did we really get through everything? That's pretty good.
Well,
you told me to rush.
Yeah. So FONA's here. This is our nice FONA logo, and before you start showing FONA, Lady Ada,
okay. I'm not showing it.
Can you say why you wanted to have the best open platform for microcontrollers that uses cell phone and data and all that? Why is it important?
Well, we have Bluetooth that we took care of with Bluetooth. Like a lot of people were asking for a really long time, can you have Bluetooth Classic? And we said we can't because it all sucks. We're gonna do something right. And we finally did Bluetooth Classic with Bluefruit, and it's awesome. We have Easy Key and Easy Link, and they're great. And then people are like, great, well, we want Bluetooth Low Energy. And we're like, not a problem, we're gonna take care of that. And we did Bluefruit LE, and we made like the best and easiest Bluetooth Low Energy board with tutorials and libraries and Breakout, the Breakout. And we're even expanding the Bluefruit line more. We're gonna be doing more stuff with Bluetooth Low Energy. And then people are like, wow, that's really great. We also want Wi-Fi. And we're like, yeah, we'll do this Wi-Fi thing. And so I have a box of every single Wi-Fi module made, and I tried them all, and I didn't really like most of them. And then the CC3000 from TI came out, and I was like, this is the one. This is pretty good. It's low cost. It's powerful. It can have multiple sockets. It has SPI. And we made a Breakout and Shield, and it's really great. And we'll also be doing stuff with the CC3100. And then the only thing left was cellular. We didn't have anything for cellular communication. We had Bluetooth, Bluetooth Low Energy, Wi-Fi. We've always, just had Ethernet and stuff with the Arduino Ethernet, but nothing with cellular. And actually, I started working on cellular stuff like 2 years ago. I started collecting modules and trying them out, and all of them were either like too chunky or had weird power requirements, or like they're a little too big or too difficult to use, or I didn't quite like the feel of them. And I wanted one that was really modern, had a lot of capabilities. And then a couple weeks ago, I was actually looking for something random, and it came across this module, the SIM 800, and it just came out, and I was like, this is a super cute module. It's small, It's designed for wearables. Clearly, it's small enough to fit in a watch. Super small. It's based off of the MediaTek chipset. I'll do a decapping later for people who are interested in the decap. There's a MediaTek chipset inside. And it's basically this powerful processor that does all of the stuff you want for a cell phone and just acts kind of like a modem. You can do stuff like phone calls, SMSs, data, GPRS. You can like fetch a website. You can listen to FM radio. It's got a lot of stuff going on there.
Okay.
And I was like, this is a cool module. So I was like, let's make a Breakout. Let's make it really small and very powerful and add all the stuff necessary to make it usable, really usable.
And there's no GSM library really that works well for an Arduino right now, is there?
Well, there's the Arduino GSM, but that's for the Telefonica module, which is okay, but I thought it was a little bit too big. So basically, like, I wrote my own code, and I'm trying to write a library that makes it easy and powerful to use. So instead of just like you're like typing out AT commands, it actually kind of wraps everything nicely. Okay. So there's a tutorial and library for it as well.
Well, let's see this board. So here it is. This is a cell phone. This is so weird. We're now a
it's a
US
phone.
We're now a US phone manufacturer.
It's all in one module and chip. Oh, can you just stop here so I can talk about the parts? So in the center is the SIM-COM module, and that's the thing that does the phone stuff. And then on the left, there's on the left all the way, there's a UFL connector. I'll show that connect an antenna. We also have a version with an SMA, so you can just attach the antenna directly. There's also a battery charging and circuit on it. A lot of cellular Breakouts don't have the battery charging stuff built in, but I was like, you know what? If you're going to use a cell phone module, chances are you're going to have it be wireless, like not connected to power. So why not just have the battery and battery charging circuit on board so you can easily charge and power your project from just the module? So that's at the bottom. You can see there's a micro USB jack and then a battery connection. There's LEDs for indication as well, and there's also a headset. This module is really nice in that it can use either a headset, like a standard Android style, like two earphones and a little microphone headset, or it can use an external speaker and mic. So you can switch between the two, just kind of like on your phone, you have the speaker and mic, or you can plug in a headset. So this is kind of cool because you can do speakerphone style or headset style. And then I have level shifting circuitry on here and some protection circuitry. And on the back is the SIM card, so maybe skip 2 ahead, or 1 ahead, 2 ahead. So on the back is the SIM card holder, and you can use any mini SIM that's a GSM SIM. T-Mobile is what in the US I suggest. They have an active 2G network. They are supported pretty much everywhere, and it's like $20 a month. We're also looking to find a place that we can work with to get you a SIM that will work, that's specifically for people who are using this stuff with machine to machine so that it's lower cost.
Yeah.
Maybe you pay by the SMS or you pay, once a day or something per day instead of $20 a month. But you can get any SIM card. I went to the T-Mobile store and just bought a SIM card, plugged it in, and it worked great.
Yeah. Okay.
And it has Breakout, so it works with an Arduino or any other kind of processor.
And we have a couple different types in the store now. We got this type.
That's the type that has the UFL connector. So it's a little mini connector, and this one has an SMA connector, which is a bigger, chunkier connector. And the chunkier connector we have to hand solder, so it's a little more expensive. If you don't mind having the little connector, you can just have a wire that adapts to it.
What's cool is it's starting to look like a little phone. Hello.
So we've had a couple of cell stuff in the store waiting for all this release. Finally got all the parts in this week so we can make it. And I have a little demo that hopefully...
We're going to do a live demo of this?
I'm going to try to do a live demo of this.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to the overhead.
Okay. So I have got my FONA, and I've got the battery, and then I've got this is the UFL to antenna. And I'm going to move this out of the way. So let's see if this works. So I just coded this up like 5 minutes beforehand. So if it doesn't work, don't get too upset. So so this is my code, and you can see the FONA. It'll blink and it'll be working.
FONA's okay.
FONA okay. So what this does is it waits for an SMS.
Okay.
And once it gets an SMS, it'll display it. So you can try sending a SMS too. I don't know.
Okay, we'll raise.
The only thing I have to test this with is like the crappy flip phone.
Okay.
So let me try sending an SMS and see how long it takes. All right, so I sent it.
That was fast. Okay.
Well, I just resent my Hello World test.
Oh, okay.
So let's see if it works.
Waiting for SMS. Oh, there it is. This
Hello,
is Lady
world.
80 call.
This
Okay.
is Lady Ada calling, but my thing is too short. So if you want, you can also try sending an SMS or
No, it's fine.
later, or maybe when it's ready for asking questions. It took me like 5 minutes to type out with a little keypad because I have to keep pressing the buttons. Anyways, this is just a demo showing receiving an SMS and printing it out. And this is like 10 lines of code, super easy. You just query the number of SMSs when a new one comes in, print it out. You get the ASCII text, print it out, and then you can delete it and wait for another SMS. So that's it. It's super easy to use this stuff. And I'm looking forward to a lot of cool cellular projects. You can make a phone out of it. You can make an SMS text message thing. You can do data.
Yeah, can you
all sorts of
use
stuff.
the FONA?
Arduino phone.
What's the smallest Arduino or Arduino-like thing you could use with the
This,
FONA?
a micro would be really good. It's a little bit too much for a trinket because unless you want to just like send an SMS, that it can do. But if you want to like receive data or like anything more complicated.
Well, with a trinket, that'd be kind of neat because you could do a trinket, a battery, and the FONA, and you can maybe do a sensor like water.
You can do a basic sensor with a trinket where it reads an analog value and SMSs it.
So
That's
like-
like the limit of what it can do.
So
maybe.
if your basement gets wet, for instance, it can text you.
Yeah.
So people have asked for that before.
Yeah.
Because you can't, a lot of these like Internet of Things projects or platforms are so broad where someone just wants something specific. No, I own a restaurant. When my basement floods, I just want to get a text. That's all I want. That's all I want.
When the fryer goes off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing more projects with this. This is like the first one that came out of the oven. And this was actually very interesting because the module is very hard to reflow. So we've been learning a lot about oven profiling to try to get the manufacturing of this really good. So that's why it's going to take a while for it to be like in stock with high quantity because we're still kind of working it out.
We're selling tons of these already. It happened really fast, but most companies have had a couple decades to learn how to manufacture millions of cell phones. We've just been doing it for
like 1 week.
We've just been doing it for a week. Okay, Lady Ada, with that is the new products.
All right.
Good work.
Thank you.